Hello, you're watching Steph and Julia's Eden. And in this video, we show you how we harvested our tomatoes, bell peppers, and hot peppers from the garden when we still lived in our suburban home. And we'll show you the recipes we made with these veggies in our kitchen. You'll see how we made our favorite tomato recipe, the tomato bisque, how we made stuffed bell peppers, and how we used the hot peppers from our garden in both these recipes to add extra flavor and kick to each dish. We also touch on some of the other tropical heat-loving plants that we grew, including our favorite ways to eat Malabar spinach and how our rosemary's been doing. And if you're more interested in how to preserve foods for longer-term storage or for food prepping, check out our next video in the link above. It's all about how to preserve tomatoes and peppers. And without further ado, let's get into the video.
It's been about a few weeks since we planted our tomatoes in this A-frame, and they've settled in quite well. In this A-frame with our tomatoes, we've planted our basil as well. So you can see there's a basil and here's another one, and they just seem really, really happy. The tomatoes shield the basil a bit from the sun, protecting it, and it's just really taken off now that it's gotten bigger. It's doing much better out here.
Here's a tomato patch. As you know, we picked our 10 best tomato plants with one of each variety kind into our A-frame here. Starting right here, it's our Gold Rush tomatoes. We've never grown these before, but look how tiny they are. They grow in abundance and they taste delicious. We have two small Gold Rush tomato plants like this. They didn't come out quite yellow like they were advertised. They come out a nice orangey red. They taste phenomenal, and there's a lot of them that come out with. Our purple Tomatillo in the back has not even produced one tomato yet. And we're still waiting, but it is the most pronounced plant. We've been trimming it. We can see the buds where the tomatoes want to start, but we don't have anything yet. And it's mid-August, which is pretty late. Moving on behind, we have a black Krim, and I'll show you what the black Krim tomato looks like. See, it's a nice, dark, rich tomato. I think it tastes phenomenal. Here's our Amish paste. Very simple looking tomato. Nice, glossy, red, waxy. And our cherry red tomato. This is what a cherry tomato has been growing, the variety we kind. So obviously not as small as our Gold Rush, but they're a nice bite size. Costoluto Genovese, as advertised, it's like this badass little pumpkin shape. Really good tomato. They all have slightly different tastes too, which makes it fun, adds variety. This is the Thessaloniki. This one's not quite mature. I'll be putting it on the counter to ripen a bit more. It gets red. It's a very simple looking, big red tomato. It's very meaty when we cut it open. It's actually a pretty heavy tomato, and it goes great in sandwiches and burgers and things like that. Things where you want a big chunky piece of tomato.
Here we have our peppers. These are all hot serrano peppers, and we've given them these red trellis cages. These were actually designed for tomatoes, but we find they work perfectly for our hot serrano peppers.
So on our teepees, we've got, of course, our Malabar spinach. It has loved the hot times in this weather. The late summer is perfect for it. It's creating lots of vegetation. It's also getting all these seeds going. All the seeds ready. Looks pretty. We love this. It goes great in all salads. Great in smoothies too. You want to mix up for your greens. And apparently a superfood. Just jam-packed full of nutrients. Here's rosemary. The one herb we tried and tried again, and we just couldn't get to sprout in our perfect internal system with all the other herbs. So we bought this one, we potted it, we've left it in a very sunny spot, and we water it actually pretty seldomly because it rains quite enough here anyway. And it's been doing great. We've been using it on all kinds. I would say meats is where this goes. Fish, white meats, dark meats, red meats. It just in general has a nice, rich, strong flavor that accentuates your protein very well. Okay, here we have our bell peppers and hot peppers. Let me show you an example of both. Here's our hot peppers. They're just starting now in August to have the heat come into them since they start developing the seeds inside, and that's where all the heat seems to be. Hot peppers are great. You can research like a bunch of different things to do with hot peppers. Now our bell peppers, we've always had trouble with them in the past. They just needed a little more structure. Like we got these nice tomato ladders to keep them up, as well as the proper spacing with them with fresh soil. We have nice, big, giant bell peppers this year. And they taste phenomenal. Just straight up, cut them up, dip them in hummus. It's a good time. Just a quick harvest we did right now. We're going to do a taste test of our tomatoes. A few tomatoes we have. Costoluto Genovese. We have our Amish paste. Cherry tomato. We have, of course, the Gold Rush tomato. These little buggers here. Black Krim are the ones we're going to taste. These are fully mature fruits we decided to compare.
Alrighty, let's do it.
Okay. First, cherry red. Nice, fun, bite size.
I love our tomatoes.
They're so good. They're sweet. They're juicy. You can't even compare store-bought tomatoes after you taste from your garden. Because when they ripen on the vine, I think is where all the flavors come. Okay, Gold Rush?
Yeah.
Gold Rush. Here, I'll get you a bigger one.
Like the two little ones in.
Okay. A tiny bit of more of a sour taste.
Yeah, they're a bit more sour than the cherry, but they have a nice tartness to them, a nice crunch.
And they're so small that the sourness is actually kind of nice. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's
So,
really nice.
It's like a nice little bite-sized snack. It's quick, very, very flavorful.
Yeah, and I love the little Gold Rush tomatoes as a treat for our chickens. You can just throw them in, you don't even have to cut them up for them, and they love it.
Yeah. Okay, let's try Black Krim. Black Krim. It's called the Black Krim tomato because it originates from the Crimean
Peninsula.
Crimean Peninsula. I have trouble saying that. Okay, and we're putting no seasoning on these just so we can have the full, authentic taste of them.
That's delicious.
Very juicy.
This one has a very strong umami taste. Like it's very tomato-y, rich. Like it'd be so good in recipes and stir fries, on sandwiches.
That's right. I love it. It's good, not a very strong taste, eh?
It's more savory,
Savory.
less sour.
Yeah.
Yeah, more savory.
I like it.
Mm.
Try this Amish paste. Amish paste. Looks nice. Nice coloring, eh?
It does look nice.
Nice bright red.
Really yummy too. I think I prefer the Black Krim though.
Yeah, me too. It's different. It's nice that it's different.
It's also super delicious. Also more on the savory side, less sour. But the Black Krim is even more savory.
Probably it's softer than the Black too, eh?
Yeah.
It might just be because they're different levels of maturity, but
Yeah.
it's still very good. I prefer the Black Krim though. All right, let's try our last one that we got today. Is our Costoluto Genovese. I just find it so cool how they come out this weird pumpkin flower shape.
Yeah, they're just beautiful. I love that how they look. I think you said the name correctly this time.
Oh, is that right? Costoluto Genovese. All right.
Finally, he learns the name at the taste testing. That one's really nice.
It's a harder consistency too.
Yeah, it's more firm.
It's got more of a crunch to it.
I think this one would be good for sandwiches because it's not as watery, so it won't make the bread soggy. It's more firm, and it's also got that delicious savory taste.
That's right. Very juicy. I like it.
Yeah, whereas like the Amish paste was a lot more watery. It might be better maybe. Amish pastes are apparently very good for sauces and pastes. That's why they're called Amish pastes, and that's probably why it's more watery, because it's more like for salsa and stuff.
Okay, verdict. Which one's your favorite, do you think?
I'm stuck between the Costoluto Genovese and the Black Krim. I think those are, and the Gold Rush. I love the Gold Rush.
Okay, mine, if I'm going to be purely just based on taste, mixed with crunch, mixed with the consistency, I got to go with Cherry Red. I find they taste the best. They're my favorite ones to pick out and eat straight up.
I forgot about Cherry Red. Yeah, Cherry Red.
I'm eating it again. It 100% takes the win for it. Try it.
As something to grab and eat straight with nothing, no salt, no other flavors, the Cherry Red takes the cake for sure.
That's right.
For
mixed with the Gold Rush too. They're fun to just grab it.
For sandwiches, I think the Costoluto Genovese and Black Krim are probably ideal. For paste sauces, like pasta sauce, I would say the Amish paste.
Amish paste would be great for tomato bisque. It would mush up very, very quickly. Same with it, Black Krim too.
Yeah, Black Krim I think would add a really nice savory taste to our tomato bisque, and maybe a slightly darker color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This color to this color, this red. So
No, a little piece. I can't eat that much.
okay. All right.
A little slice.
Do a slice. Okay. There you go. It's a slice. It's decent. All right. Oh, hot.
I got scared.
It's
Oh my gosh, I didn't even chew it. It's so hot.
Oh. Okay, it's a good thing I didn't eat half. Oh, God.
Yeah, I just placed it on my tongue and took it out. It's so hot. It's burning.
Oh, man. Phenomenal. I got it.
Thank God I didn't bite into this.
All right, tomato prep themselves. I just cut them into quarters, and I throw them inside this. This is an onion slicer from Tupperware. I quarter them in there, because oftentimes tomato soup is just done with canned tomatoes. We like to do it with fresh tomatoes, or you can do this especially with tomatoes that are going a little overripe. Great making sauces or soup with it. Basically, we're just making canned tomato out of our fresh tomatoes. And I'm going to do this with all of the tomatoes that we have. Let's not forget the little Gold Rush tomatoes. They have a place in our soup too. The good broth, I find, it's really nice with a bit of salt in there. And here's my secret ingredient, is we have these magnificent Serrano hot peppers that came out, and they're extremely hot, and just to make your whole soup a little spicy, I put just about a third of one in there. I'll cut it in half. Not touch my eyes after. There you go. We're gonna mix that up. Couple hours, let it go, then you strain it and you keep the liquid, and that's what we're gonna use as the vegetable broth for our tomato bisque. Okay, after about 5 minutes of sauteing celery and onions, I add garlic. And it's important not to overcook the garlic, but just get it warmed up in there. Alrighty, now I'm gonna add my liquid, which is the homemade vegetable broth that we did. And I tasted it, it tastes phenomenal. Okay, so I strain it, keep the liquid. The best part is all these nice used vegetables. I'm actually gonna put that in a Tupperware and freeze it. You can use it on another broth, just boil some water, throw all this stuff in with a few nice fresh things or particularly flavored things that you might like. I add my broth, the mixture I just made. I sort of want to put it equal to the mass of the tomatoes, maybe a little less. Okay, I'll just season this a little bit. Fresh ground pepper. A little bit of onion salt. Not too much, it's already pretty salty, the broth that we made. And paprika. It helps with the coloring too, the paprika. Just brings out that red. Okay, now we're ready for the tomatoes. I'm mixing the tomatoes with this mixture. Once I feel that the temperature's high enough, we're actually gonna make it. What makes this a bisque, I guess, it's rice. About 3 tablespoons of rice in here. And we're gonna let this cook for almost half an hour. Maybe even a little more than half an hour. All right, so it's been cooking for almost half an hour. Good chef once told me, you cannot be cooking without having some nice wine. Okay, now that it's been cooking for about half an hour, you can see the rice and the vegetables are cooked. They're ready to be all blended together with those tomatoes. Now from here on out, we're gonna play with the taste and consistency. We'll adjust it as I go. If it's too thick, I add a little more broth. Not enough, I add a little more rice and keep cooking it and blending it until it's the right consistency. The taste, you know when it tastes right. I mix a bit of salt and sugar to make it sweet, just a little bit, until it turns what I call perfect, up to your liking, right? An alternative to sugar, I use stevia. Stevia has no calories, it's a natural sweetener. I think it's a great alternative to sugar and it tastes really good in things like soups. So we'll see how this one goes. All right, let's turn this into a bisque. You use this hand blender. Put it on low. Slowly immerse it. Start mashing this together. It tastes real nice as is. So, put a little bit of stevia in there. A few teaspoons. Let's see what that gives. And the last ingredient, it's not necessary, I like it, is to put cream in there. Any kind of sour cream is gonna do. I like a little bit of creme fraiche. Treated myself, I found it at the store. Tiny bit of cream in there. All right, and that's just that's just one example of what you can do with all those tomatoes you grew out there. It's one of my favorite recipes. So good. Take care.
Hello, my name's Julia. And if you've seen our channel, you know we're all about gardening, farming, and homesteading. In this video, we're gonna be showing you how we make stuffed peppers. I'll be showing you how we make our stuffed peppers. So these are beautiful red bell peppers from our garden, and I've put them in the oven for 10 minutes. Once they come out, they're gonna have some juice inside. And so you just wanna make sure to empty out those juices into an empty container. Make sure they're clear of those excess juices before you stuff your peppers. Once you have emptied the juices from all your bell peppers, you want to make the dressing. Now typically you'd make this while your bell peppers are still in the oven. So here I've put together some lime juice, some diced garlic, some diced peppers. You could use jalapenos or serranos. Here I'm using hot serrano peppers from our garden. In addition, you'd like to add your spices. So I'm gonna add a very healthy pinch or two of salt, a pinch of black pepper. Here we've pre-portioned the cayenne pepper. the cumin, and the coriander. If you'd like to know more about how to make coriander, you can check out our herb starting series, where we actually show you how we harvest coriander seeds right off the plant. And once you grind up those seeds, you can make your own coriander spices. So this is gonna make a very flavorful dressing for the stuffing that will go in our bell peppers. Here I'm adding some chives. You can also add green onions. And finally, you can add cilantro or parsley as well, chopped up. I'll chop this up later and add it as a garnish on top of the bell peppers at the end. Once you have this dressing, that is when you want to fold all the ingredients into your cooked rice. Here I have cooked rice, which I'm going to use to stuff the bell peppers. You want to add some sort of legume to your rice. So that could be black beans, it could be chickpeas, it could be lentils. I'm using chickpeas here. This is gonna be the main protein for our recipe. This is a vegetarian version. You could also add meat if you want. Next, I'm folding in some mixed vegetables. Now you could fold in corn, you could fold in diced small vegetables like this, whatever you'd like to add more flavor to your stuffing. And finally, our dressing. This is really what's gonna add a huge amount of flavor to our stuffing. Now I've just added half because this stuffing is very, very flavorful. And so I just want to try it, test it out, and then add the rest to see how I like it. Once you have mixed together all your ingredients for the stuffing, you've tried it, you've decided it's delicious, you can then stuff your bell peppers. Now that we have stuffed all our bell peppers, you can add some sort of cheese on top. This could be mozzarella, it could be Parmesan. Here I'm using some Parmesan. Once you have finished putting the cheese on your stuffed bell peppers, you're going to put it in the oven a second time for 10 minutes again at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. That is so nice.
If you'd like to see sneak peeks of our future YouTube content, you can check us out on Instagram. If you prefer to see highlights from our journey, you can follow us on TikTok. Now that we have moved to our 10-acre farm, there are endless ideas for what we could do next. We will be posting our brainstorming ideas for the farm and for our future content on our Twitter page. If you want to be a part of deciding what we share next on the YouTube channel, you'll definitely want to engage with us on Twitter. Next, we recommend you check out this video here, where we delve into how to preserve tomatoes and peppers for longer-term use, what we learned making this series, and how to collect seeds from your tomatoes and peppers so you can enjoy a never-ending cycle of food for your family. We hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching!